Macon County officials have been holding Relay for Life events here at Key Park in Lafayette for the last 18 years. They say they'll continue to do so until there's a cure for cancer.
Everyone has been touched by cancer in some form or fashion. Either they've had someone in their family, their friends, loved ones, everyone has been touched somewhere along the way. And it's just a very important thing that we need to do to raise money to continue the research so that we will have the medicines to fight the cancer. So, hopefully, maybe one of these days we'll have a cure.
What kind of feedback do you guys normally get from the community after having an event like this?
Well, last year we had a lot of, it was a great event, had fun. It's a lot of people really enjoy it and glad we do this.
What was your original diagnosis?
My original diagnosis was peripheral T-cell lymphoma stage 4.
Is that in the chest?
No, it's actually in the bloodstream, in your lymph nodes.
And when was that?
That was in August 29th of 2007.
And so what was it like when you first found out the news?
When I first found out that I had cancer, it was devastating. I literally sat in my, I'm going to cry now, it's okay. Sat in my shower crying until I could get a hold of my family to let them know.
And so then, of course, at some point, I'm guessing, did you have to do chemo and possibly radiation as well?
I went through several months of chemo, almost a year. I landed up because I was stage 4, which is and peripheral T-cell is a rare form. I was actually told that I wasn't going to make it. I am a recipient of a stem cell transplant, and that is why I'm standing here before you today.
Now, when did that take place? When was your surgery?
My stem cell transplant was May 28th of 2008, and I have been a cancer survivor now for 7 years.
How did your life change once you had the surgery and once you learned that you were cancer-free?
My attitude all changed. I mean, you have to have a positive attitude to get through this anyway. I always smile because there's nothing negative. My feet are still hitting the ground every day. I finished my career and I retired and I moved here to Red Boiling, decompression and just to enjoy the serenity and the tranquility of the area.
I've talked to folks before who are cancer survivors, and they tell me once they beat the cancer, suddenly those small things that they used to sweat, they don't even worry about little things, little details anymore. Are you kind of like that as well?
Yeah, it's, little things don't matter. The biggest things are just enjoying each day because it's a gift.
What about your family? How did your family help you through this?
Well, my husband, who's standing behind you making faces at me, come on over here, Anthony. He was my fiance at the time, and we had just gotten together. So he actually stepped up to the plate because he didn't have to. He didn't sign up to go through this journey with me, and he held my hand and my head at times to get me through.
And you made it.
And I made it.
How important is it for family members to help those who have been diagnosed with cancer? I mean, how much of an attitude change did you see in her once you started helping her and saying, hey, you can do this, you can beat this?
Oh, it helps a lot, the love and the attention and the respect for each other and the gathering, keep talking, and just the love surrounding her is probably kept her going.
I had breast cancer in 2005.
And when you first found out the news, what was your immediate reaction?
Scared, nervous about it, but they caught it early, so, that was a good thing.
Did you have to go through radiation and chemo?
Yes, I did.
I'm sure that wasn't easy.
No, the radiation, it's an everyday thing for so many weeks, and that kind of tires you out. But I have a good family that supported me, and I had somebody to go with me every day for radiation. And chemo is hard because you lose your hair, and, that's something to deal with. But I made it, so just happy to be here.
How has your attitude about life changed now that you've gone through this?
Well, I'm a Christian, and you just think of things different. You see things in a different light after you've went through something major like that.
You always hear the expression, don't sweat the small stuff. I mean, is it kind of like that for you?
Yeah, before you'd probably worry about things that you didn't even need to worry about, and then something big like that happens, and then you really, you have a turnaround in life.
And how much did you depend on your faith, too, to get you through this?
A lot. Yeah. I had good support, and I had a good doctor, so
And how is life for you today?
it's great. It's great. I have 4 grandchildren now, and when I was going through cancer, one of my things was just let me live to see my grandchildren, because my daughters were grown, so I was looking forward to having grandchildren and being able to be with them. So,
And you're cancer-free now.
yeah, sure am.
What was your original diagnosis?
Colon cancer,
And what year was that?
2008.
And when you first found out the news, I'm sure it was probably very, very scary.
Well, it was. Of course, I've always feared cancer, and she had it first, and actually it didn't bother me as much after going through it with her as I thought it would. But yes, it takes you have to rethink things quite a bit, But I was early stage 1, and from diagnosis on, everything was a plus. It was early, they felt comfortable, they could deal with it, and, so I had a lot of hope, it wouldn't, go ahead.
Did you have to go through chemo and radiation both?
No, I did not. It was early stage, and they felt like I was better off not to have any treatment because I was on top of it. I was lucky, my physician was on top of everything, and it showed up in an early physical.
So after they determined that you did have the colon cancer, about how long was it before they found out that you were cancer-free?
Well, I'm still going and having checkups, and it's still, I don't know that you ever know that I'm cancer-free as far as they know. Probably a year, you go through the checkups, and it takes a while before they actually confirm that they feel comfortable with it,
How has your attitude about life changed before you had cancer and then after now that you've beaten the cancer?
I think I appreciate life better and in a different manner. You take it more in little bits and enjoy it, and you do looking at the long range, because you realize you might not be here long range. Nobody is, but cancer brings you to that reality.
You mentioned you and your wife, Patsy, both have beaten cancer, and you said she helped you through your cancer after you had helped her through hers.
Yeah, and that's, I don't know how to put it really, but when both of you had it, you kind of back each other up, and I guess you would if just one of you had it, because it's several years before I had it when she had it, and going through it with her really strengthened me for myself, Of course, she had a rougher time of it. She had to have chemo and radiation. So I thought I was really blessed when they told me I didn't have to have it,
Tell me just about about life today. What's life for you all like today? Is it a pretty good life for you right now?
It's, I would think, as normal as it could be with our children and grandchildren and being able to do the things that we want to do, Physically, we don't have it. Now, we're older, so physically we don't do what we did at 25. But the cancer thing really doesn't affect us that much physically.
Why do you think it's important to have events like this in Macon County?
It was walking up, just the thought of how many people is affected by, and what we're seeing here, I'm sure, is just a small percent, probably not 25% of all the people that's affected, but it brings awareness, that there's so many people, and though I'm blessed, a lot of people aren't, and it's terminal, and this brings awareness, plus, the proceeds go for more research and more, and we've come so far. 50 years ago when I was a teenager, diagnosis of cancer was a death sentence. That's few people survived it. Now the percent is pretty good on early diagnosis. It's real good,
Well, we're glad you're still around.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad too most days.
Being able to laugh again. That's not always necessarily the case when someone is going through cancer. Hopefully one day, cancer will be cured. And as nice as events like these are, will no longer be needed ever again. Reporting in Lafayette, Barry Hyatt, NCTV.